Hello, my name is Rick Wheat, founder, managing member, and CEO of Pinnacle Commercial Group, LLC. I want to welcome you to our Commercial Property Scout training video series. The purpose of this video series is to provide you with as much information possible to make you as successful as you can be as a commercial property scout. Over the next few videos, you should come to understand and become familiar with our organization and the types of properties we're seeking. In addition, we'll discuss how to properly submit properties into our system, as well as discuss how you'll be compensated for your role within the organization. We're glad to have you on board and hope your relationship with us proves to be very profitable for each of us. I'd like to introduce the company in the background of your commercial real estate property scout program. The name of the company is Pinnacle Commercial Group, LLC. Pinnacle Commercial Group is a fairly new formed company. However, it's made up with people with years and years of commercial experience, and we have already made a very strong entrance into the market. As managing member and CEO, I'd like to give you a little bit of information about my background. I have in the past been licensed as a real estate broker, a general contractor, and a mortgage broker. I've placed all those licenses inactive because I realized that being a principal in the projects were much more to my advantage than trying to figure out a way to make a commission on them. I got started into the real estate investing business back in the early 90s, have been involved in over 200 single-family home transactions and several $100 million worth of commercial transactions as national project manager of a previous company. I have been involved in training investors for going on 18 years, have traveled all over the United States, traveled into Mexico, the Caribbean, Canada, teaching real estate investing training events, have written several courses and books on how to invest in real estate. My partner, Mr. Jeff Collar, co-founder and vice president of Pinnacle Commercial Group, has also been involved in real estate for about 15 years. Jeff is a nationally recognized, one of the top experts in the country on residential short sales, have taught tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of students how to get involved in that particular aspect of the business. In fact, his most recent claim to fame is that his customers and his organization has saved over 1 million houses from foreclosure, and they have negotiated in excess of $1 billion worth of buy downs on and discounts on residential mortgages. Jeff's got a very strong background in commercial as well, and is a participant in the very large participant in Pinnacle. We've got also an advisory board that consists of attorneys, accountants, engineers, things of that nature that are very instrumental, although they're not in fact members of the organization. They consult with us on a very regular basis. Next on the list is Ms. Hollis Brown. Hollis is my administrative assistant, right hand, and very key individual within the organization. Without her, there's no telling what would become of the company. And I rely on her quite substantially through the daily ins and outs of the business. We've got several positions that are staffed. The first of which, and most important in my mind, is the acquisition department. This is where a property scout you'll fall within, and you'll be working with some of these folks. In essence, we've got a national project manager currently held by Mr. Patrick Gergen. Beneath him are what we consider to be our regional project managers, Mr. Les Shearer, Mr. Frank Barilari, Mr. John Kubas, Miss Sue Burke Nelson, Mr. Ed Oliver, and Mr. Ricky Strain. All these folks are regional project managers, meaning that they've got a particular field of expertise or a particular area of the country that they're responsible for. We also have numerous project managers in training that are being groomed to step into a full-blown project manager's role, and we have several of those people that are currently occupying those particular spots. In the finance and investor relations department, we've got several people involved in that are responsible for maintaining the integrity of our financial records, as well as being liaisons within our uh, financial community. The private investors, passive investors, equity partners that we are involved with on a daily basis are all managed within this particular department. We fund most of our deals almost exclusively with private funds and equity funds, and are attracting and marketing to get people of that nature, investors of that nature, that are interested in working with us and achieving some pretty decent returns on their money, working with those folks on a daily basis. Part of the acquisition team is a group of Property Scout team builders. These are people who have built large organizations on their own and are working within our group in order to provide additional input, additional training for the Property Scout teams, Property Scout organizations similar to one that you're involved in, and they will be providing additional training resources for you as your knowledge and involvement with the company expands. Another part of our organization concerns our due diligence team. Although they are not direct employees of us, they are a third party, unrelated third party, but they fall very well within our organization, to the extent that every property that is acquired is passed before them for their review, so that we make sure we've got all of our I's dotted and T's crossed. That team consists of Mr. Sid Burns and Daniel Burns. They're due diligence associates out of Tallahassee, Florida, and they're very instrumental in our organization. We also got an asset management department, which is responsible for implementing what we call our exit strategy once the properties get acquired within our group and made part of our portfolio. This is a department that's involved in turning the property into whatever we decide we want it to be, whether it's doing rehab, doing additional leasing, doing property management, things of that nature to get the property optimized. They're involved in the selling process, so that each property is going to be, once it's acquired, is passed over to the asset management department. We've also got our marketing and PR department, which is involved in creating a presence for the company itself, and creating marketing collaterals and brochures and things of that nature for the various properties. That is Pinnacle's organization. We have several different levels that we have within our group. You as a Property Scout are involved as within an investor. An investor has solicited you to become part of the team, and you report directly to that investor. The investor then provides, as part of your role as a Property Scout, you provide valid and valuable information to the investor about various properties that we'll be discussing in another video. When you provide that information to your investor, the investor then reviews it, and if it appears as though it meets our criteria, the investor passes it up the ladder to one of our project managers. The project manager then takes a look at it, gets back in touch with the investor, and solicits additional information, vets the property out to make sure that it meets our criteria and it's something that we want to follow through on. Once we get to that point, the properties, when they reach that level, are turned over to our due diligence team. The due diligence team does the final inspection of the physical inspection of the property, makes the final judgment call on whether or not, or provides a report so that we can make the final judgment call whether we want to proceed to a closing or not. Once we get to that point, the property is acquired, and it comes into our portfolio and works its way through the system. As a Property Scout, we want you to be the best of the best. That's the only type of role that we're looking for from our Property Scouts. Your investor has proven themselves to be to be very worthy of that title. We want you to be similar to a SEAL team member. The Navy SEALs is recognized throughout the world as the best of the best. They have some very rigorous training they go through, and they only accept somewhere between 18 and 22% of the total applicants. That's about what the ratio is of our property scouts throughout our entire organization. Property scouts are provided with training, they're provided with skills, they're provided with background, they're provided with support from us, from your investor, and as such, you have the opportunity to excel. It's a matter of whomever takes up the gauntlet, whoever decides that they want to make the effort to perform. So in essence, we're looking for the top 18 to 22% of the people. That means that there's going to be somewhere between 77 and 82% that fall out. That's okay. We're willing to lose those in order to retain excellent people providing excellent results.